What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast, where we talk about any and everything. Personal, old snaps and claps. It's a dang good day to talk about a few things. So let's get into it.
What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast. I have two special peeps here, Grace Whitaker Melton and G Wade of WadeWorksStudios in Atlanta, Georgia. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Well, not too much. Well, some, a little bit, some not. But we're going to get into it right here on the Morning Jam podcast. We're going to talk about this podcast. You guys, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. When and where is the appropriate time for someone to put their hands on you, or is it appropriate? Male against male, male against female, female against female, female against male. When is the appropriate time, or
Never.
I think appropriate time is subjective.
Well, sure.
Correct.
It's like beauty. To you, she might be fine, but to me, So
Correct.
subjective. When is the right time to spank your child? I don't know. I have 3. I didn't have to touch them all the same.
Are you talking about right now? Probably right now is the time for me to start spanking mine. But
Well, I say right now, then you're a day late and $1 short.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
You should have already pen checked that. You know what I'm saying?
Because sometimes you don't really have to go that route. Sometimes good talking and setting that child down and letting him understand your perspective. Because it's all about the perspective of a situation.
To the point that you don't want to sit down and be like, listen.
But that's a self-control thing.
I think the spare the rod, spare the child, spoil the child scripture has been, to me, taken not out of context, but
misunderstood
or mistaught. Which is just something that I realized years ago. Because again, 3, and I didn't touch them all the same. Because with one nice little look would shut the whole thing down, and I've just now disciplined my child.
But do you think now, since you have, the 3, did you think now you should have put some hands on them?
Well, I did, but I'm just saying it's the levels of which it was necessary.
Right.
Because again, they honestly, they didn't really require much, not from me anyway, much laying on of the hands. It was just, a good stern talking to. I guess it's something about a father talking to his kids versus maybe mom is a bit different.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
But okay. So did their mother spank them? Did their mother whoop them? Because there's a difference from a father's perspective and a mother's perspective. Now we're talking about 2 different styles. Even though we're married or we're together or we had this child, sometimes it falls in that mother's lap to be the greater authoritative one. And the father has that, like, I'm gonna tell your mama look. Sometimes that look might have been, oh, daddy gonna tell mama gonna whoop my butt. I probably need to get in line. They gonna talk at some point.
In other cases, it's the other way around. Wait till your father get home.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, I'll be good. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't like it either way because my mom didn't allow, my dad to whoop her girls. She thought tales of.
She took that into her own hands. She's like, Isaac, it's okay for you to spank our boys or whoop our boys, but you hit too hard to be hitting on my daughters. And that was her perspective. So she held up to her end of the deal. I'll chastise them. And when she did, it was with a vengeance. She came with a purpose, So it all depends on how the relationship is in the home or mom and dad, even if y'all not together. What agreement have you guys come together and sat down and agreed upon on how to chastise your children? Now, my mama, I thank God for the chastising that I got. I can't speak for all of my sisters, but I would have been a totally different person if she hadn't have handled me the way that she handled 12 children 12 different ways, because we were never the same. So therefore,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
In some instances, it warranted, I hope I'm saying it right, that she got our butt.
Right.
And then in other instances, she sat down. Now, I'm not going to tell you again.
Right.
Now, if you do it again, so I'm not saying that my mom whooped us all the time, because she did not. She also, and that's where
I can count on one hand how many times.
Man, I wish I had about 4, 5
I
sets.
know, right? Oof.
You lucky.
Remember the time, Grace?
I don't know.
We're PK kids.
Outside of the, outside hanging outside the window. Y'all left me. You and Marquita closed the window down. I'm hanging outside the window trying to get to the ground. Left me, and I got straight tore up right there. We supposed to be grounded inside the room.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Break out. We were in jail.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I shouldn't have left you hanging like
a long
that.
time ago, Grace. It was here for a while, but I forgave y'all a long time ago.
Thank you. I feel so good about that. I feel good. But I mean, I don't think I was a bad child to say that
right.
I needed 4 or 5 hands. It was just, we were PK kids. My mom was strict. I mean, things that you think that I said, I would never whoop my kid over that. My mom gave us about that much room to error. And when we erred, we're going to know not to make that error again.
A choice because she had so many children. So she really had to be like, okay, if I don't get a hold to them, a hold of them right now, they're going to end up, beating up on me, thinking they can do what they want to do, say what they want to do. And it never got to that case because
they're not going to fully respect authority.
Yeah.
But then again, there are other reasons why a child will probably have issues with authority, not just because you did not get spanked, but I don't know. I different strokes, it's your household, it's the demeanor of the child, it's how the parents were raised. You got the ones who, well, when I was raised with an iron fist, so I'll never beat my child. And then there's the one that says, I wish my mother would have disciplined me, so now I'm going to discipline my child. Or, it's just so, I was beat by my so bad, now I'm going to turn around and do the same thing to my kids. So I think in every household is a different like a different outcome or a different situation, because no two are the same.
And especially you want to set boundaries.
You guys, like really in that. So with different homes, like we're talking about different households now, like two of us, different homes was raised differently. So in that, the one that got whooping most, the one that got least, and none at all. So do you think as an adult now, did it come across as an adult now, I need to tear into my kids now? What do y'all think about that? Because for me, I don't think it went for me like I'm fixing to get a belt, I'm fixing to get a shoe, I'm going to get all that other stuff like that happens in homes with different ones.
I feel as if, Crystal, you're my sister. I love you to death. I feel as if you raised KJ like Mama raised us. I mean, like splitting image. I mean, I was like, boy, Crystal is just like Mama.
You're speaking inside. What does that mean? What does that mean? The same. Describe
where we received that authority and respected it as young kids, and now as adults, I can see as our children, and I raised Tevin like my dad raised me. My dad was my ace coon boom, my best friend. I could tell him, anything. And now I raised my son like my dad raised me. Crystal raised KJ like
meaning
she was a stronger hand. She didn't allow any error.
I kind of like
roll with the iron fist
a lot. Yeah, I sheltered him a lot and didn't let him, go spend the night with a lot of his friends until he was way up in like a couple of years ago.
Until yesterday,
now,
because I know some of the conversations that we've had, and then I would hear you talk about what you did or how, not physically, but just what you would allow and not allow. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you let him do that? That just doesn't make sense.
Because for me, it was always like a safety thing, because I go to the extreme. Happening to my son, like something pretty bad.
There's a level of anxiety. Yeah, that's what it is. A level of anxiety. And not only Crystal have that issue, some other of my sisters have that same level of anxiety. And I'm just like, why are y'all so anxious?
And I think my parents had that too.
My
at least
mom,
my
most
mom.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom,
Well, I
most
mean,
definitely.
do y'all think it also has something to do with where you were raised?
Yeah.
Probably. Yes.
Yeah.
Like the
In an
climate?
all white community,
Yeah.
not having people of our culture and our, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? So
Right.
therefore it made her harder. But I think even if we lived in Forest City, Arkansas, my mama would have never let us go
Oh,
anywhere
we actually talked about that the other day, like in the
because,
kitchen. Yeah.
yeah, even at that, because my mom had things happen to her at a young
Mhm.
age. And
Right.
therefore, she was like, I'm not going to allow this to happen to my children. So,
Mhm.
therefore, to keep this from happening, I have to keep my eyes on you.
Mhm.
You stay in my presence. So, I think it's all about what happened in our past that affects us in our, raising our children, kind of like what you said.
Mm.
So, I just think that's what.
Oh, Grace, and like I was saying earlier, like we were just talking about that a couple of days ago in the kitchen, mom and me and dad and mom, and talking about if we were raised in Forest City, which Forest City is like black, you know, probably 95% black, you think, Grace?
Yeah,
Um,
most definitely.
there's a lot of, different drugs, it's open. It was just open. And we had family there, cousins there that was, we went and hung out with. And they was like, man, if we would have raised you guys in Forest City, y'all would have been like some wild girls. And I was like, I don't really think so to
I
me.
do. I do.
Well, I
Because if
think
you think,
everybody's a product of their environment to a degree.
mhm,
So yeah,
yeah,
it's a possibility.
Well, they was talking like pretty extreme. And I'm like,
But
uh-uh.
but that's the part you don't know. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? Like
That's true.
I grew up around what's part of that city y'all called it again?
Forest
Cave
City,
City, Forest City or Cave City? Forest City. Yeah.
Ford, like Ford.
Forest.
Oh,
Like a
Forest
forest.
City.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, see, I lived in a Forest City by a different name. So I
Mhm.
grew up in a different culture, the black culture.
Yeah.
Uh, um, I didn't really see like white people until I think I went to high school, but I feel like it was just 12th grade because I remember there was twins there and they were two white girls. Um,
Mhm.
but they were white girls that were kind of like the black white girls, you know what I mean? Not
Mhm. Yeah.
They was raised in the same environment that you were
yeah, you know
and
what I mean?
adapted to that culture.
And they
Yeah.
adapted to the culture. So I didn't
Right.
really get exposed. That don't even sound like a right word. I didn't really live around like white people until we moved out of DC, which is Chocolate City. It's different today, but until we moved out of there into kind of like the suburban area, which is Silver Spring, Maryland, and that's when I saw
Mhm.
the melting pot of people. I'm like, wow, there's all kind of people to live out here. It's actually pretty cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We were like,
most
oh,
And,
wow,
definitely.
and there's
there's
grass over there. You know what I'm saying? It's
this
just kind of
side of the tracks is
and it
different.
was quiet. That's the other part that really stood out was just quiet.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
that's
so funny.
different. That's awesome to hear that from an African American person because we were
A
raised
black person.
yeah,
A black man.
because we were raised. That's all we knew. You know what I mean? So when we went to our very own culture, they were like, "Y'all sound white. Y'all
Exactly.
so white. Y'all so white. Don't do
there's, a,
that." You
there's
know.
an episode of Blackish where Dre, which is the father, um, had never really taken his kids around. They grew up in the suburbs, so they never went
Oh, to where
around
he lived. Yeah.
where he was from, type of thing. And so when he finally went back around there and take him around, like he was even kind of out of like the fish out of water because it's like, dang, I've been away for so long that I've kind of lost touch with
Mhm.
my own culture.
Why
While
do you think
trying to
that
be
is?
down in the suburbs, I'm not really as down as I think I am. You know what I mean?
Why do you think that is when we as African American people, we grow up in such in a certain area where there is poverty, there is drugs, there is
Mhm.
this, there is that. We abandon that area to bring our kids out. But in a in my mind with Tevin, my 18-year-old, he's so green to the world. And I'm just like, maybe I should
Exactly.
have
Yeah.
let you go to Win and hang out with your dad to see what the real world is
So
like.
so
You know what I mean?
feel it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
so they have this mind after we were, okay, so after on Blackish, let's say, he
Mhm.
raised his kids and now they feel like they're entitled to this life of privilege. And I think that's
Right.
where I have messed up as a parent.
Yes.
I should have let you taste some of that hardship that your other brothers and sisters, instead of protecting you from that, I
Mhm.
should have let you got a little taste of that, because you need that in your life right now, because you gonna get in trouble. You know, you're gonna walk into something that you have no clue of
Mhm.
what is going on. And so I feel like I should have subjected him, but I'm glad I didn't. But I'd be like, dang, why
Well,
did I?
I feel a little bit different because, my son KJ's grandpa lives in Wynn, and that's more blacks than it, but I
Mhm.
kind of like took him around, his cousins around that. So he got to go out during the times that we were there on weekends. So I feel like he got just maybe a small little piece of it that he knows a little bit, but he still act like he don't. But
Yeah, I mean, kind of, it's a little different for me because with my kids, because simply one, because they live with their moms, except for my daughter, who lived with me for a period, who grew up in the suburbs until she went back, and then she act like she just all hood. But but my youngest daughter, who grew up, I guess you can say, in the hood, I guess I would say, and my son, who's the oldest, she always calls him bougie, which pisses him off because he don't like to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
mean, but he did grow up in a different culture. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So he's not being bougie. He's just being of the culture. Whatever.
Yeah, that's what he was raised in.
Yeah.
And I think that's me and Crystal, and I believe Crystal can agree. Everywhere we go, they're like, y'all act like y'all just better than everybody. This, then I'm like, I'm not. I'm black.
Right.
Ew. You want me to sit here? Ew.
I don't think it's worse than some of my other siblings, because some
Yeah.
of my other ones, they would like sleep in their clothes just from, touching the hotel bed. Sheets
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
see,
I'm like,
that's corny to me.
What a good
well,
hotel
it just
room?
depends
No.
on.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. It don't matter which hotel you go to. You pull out the black light, you're gonna hate it. So it don't matter.
That's true. That's true.
You like, I don't even
That's
want to sit
right.
in a chair. Like, what you think they're having pretty sex in 5-star hotels?
No.
They swing
They're
from
bringing
chandeliers,
the
too.
hoochies in there because they're
Right.
billionaires.
Shoot, they bring their own wife in here to
For
do
love.
it.
The
All the
billionaires.
stuff, getting it on.
That don't make no difference. It just looks pretty. You know what I mean?
So
Well,
we've come to the determination that it's all about perception and
Oh,
perspective on
yeah.
how or when to put your hands on your child. Now,
now
as adults,
I think there's some people who probably need a little training and or counseling when it comes to
That's
it,
true.
because they made their perception or their idea of it might be a bit warped because of the way they grew up. So they take that, it's all that pain that they had suffered and pour it out on their children. You know what I mean? So and I think in those regards, they probably need to be like counseled to understand that you don't have to.
but why in the African American community that we don't reach out for that?
Well, see,
We do not reach out for
I'm
that.
going to beg to differ and say I don't really think it matters which community you're in. I don't care if it's white community, Asian community, Hispanic community. I don't think it matters. I just think if you are a product of your environment, and if your daddy was an abuser, it's a possibility that you may turn around and become one.
But if
Yeah.
you know that, why don't you seek counseling for that before you even bring children into the world?
Man, that's easy to say.
Yeah.
That's easy to say. You just living. You just living. It's not even a thing you even know because you don't even think it's wrong to begin with.
And I can just speak for that because of things that happened in my past, being molested as a young girl and stuff like that. So I should have definitely had some type of counseling back then, but it spilled over onto my son to where I was like this: you're not going anywhere. I don't want nothing to happen to you. I don't want nothing like what I went through. It was just like, you're not going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So
Though that just hurts me to just know that comes out of your mouth, because
Yeah.
it crawls all over me, Crystal. And I was in a conversation Saturday morning when I was out walking and running / more. And that person came up and I was like, don't you dare defend. Do not defend. Don't even try. And your defending days is over. It's time for you to let that weight be on him, even though, or whoever that person is, it's time to let that weight be on him and no longer on you.
It's really crazy that it's not like I didn't forgive. Listen, that's in the past. I forgive and forget. It does pop up in the brain a few times, but that's just the enemy. But we're gonna move past that. But I think it was more than just me got hurt in the situation. I can't say that situation.
It's
problem.
the braces.
However, it was more like a lot of people may have known and just really didn't know
overlooked
how to
it.
approach.
And then,
And I think that's what it is. A lot of people, and then a lot of things, family, one would say, don't take this outside the household. Don't tell nobody else. Don't tell this. This is what goes on in the home.
Look at me. Do you really think I would have done that? I would have been like,
I'm just saying, like, for different people, different families. So, well, of course, it wasn't our family, because my parents was like, you better tell me, you better do this.
Gangster. My daddy, most definitely. Ooh, Jesus. I thank you for your covering, God.
Great, you crazy. But we were talking about when is the correct time to put some hands on. So
that's the correct time to put your hands on someone.
That's the
reach
correct
out
time
and
to
touch
drag
them.
somebody out into the street. Yeah.
Reach out and touch them.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just feel like if they would have known, things would have went totally different.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this all your question stems from a video that you had sent out.
Yeah.
Somebody football, a baseball game or
so
something.
It was a football game, the Steelers. So Karen and Ken was at a football game, and there was a black man that was sitting in front of her. I don't know what happened before the video or whatever. So it starts where they're facing each other. So he's sitting on a lower seat than her. So they're basically like this beside the boyfriend and girlfriend, or husband and wife. He's down below. So the video shows where she slaps him. They're in a altercation first, talking, and then she slaps him. And that's when it started to get heated. So he kind of like goes to hit her, but he paused. Notice as Black people, we always think in the process, like, oh, should I hit this Karen?
Because all of the ramifications that come with it.
Right.
There's never given the benefit of the doubt, or it's always the I forgot the word I'm looking for, but it's presumption of guilt. Like, you did something. I don't. She's crying, so you did something. We don't care what happened before she started crying. You did something.
Right.
He did the right thing, which is, well, two things happened in that video that were, in a sense, the right thing.
Let me tell her. So he kind of like paused. Then the boyfriend gets up, and after that, so they started fighting. So he knocks the boyfriend out. Out cold. He's leaning over the chair, and then she kind of trying to block him from getting hurt or whatever. Then other people start to come and trying to like break it up. And even then, she tries to get to the Black guy and even kicks him. So then it's just more like on him, like, get him out of here. And then some of the audience that was at the football game was like, hey, get his glasses. She slapped him first, So I think it was the appropriate time for him to just really start laying on hands like he did.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, two things I think happened in that video that was, in a sense, the right thing to do. The dude did not hit the woman first. And she slapped him, even though knee jerk would have been the hit back, but while he kind of did that move, her husband or boyfriend stood up. So he now turned his aggression towards him, the husband or the boyfriend, which is the right thing to do. While at the same time, the right thing for the husband or the boyfriend to do was to stand up and defend his girlfriend or wife, which is, so those two right things happened. The men were to duke it out. But this is where I now interject. And this is a conversation we've had once before, or twice or two before, Crystal, where I said a female should never give her man a reason to defend her.
Right.
Right.
Don't
And
give him
that's-
a reason to have to defend you. Like, I'm
Can you
not saying,
imagine that car ride home with them two?
well, it's kind of be a weird one when he got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? What much can he say? You know what I'm saying? If I told you to shut up, you know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do?
More like, you just got me knocked out in front of the whole world.
He's got me knocked
Like,
out
it's
in front of the
viral.
whole world. Yeah, right. So that's what I'm saying. So her running her mouth or whatever she was saying, it couldn't have been that serious. I wasn't there. Maybe it was enough serious for her, but I don't think it was that serious. But again, I don't know. She could have been kicking the kids. She could have been throwing popcorn at him.
She would have been sitting down.
Say it again.
So if it wasn't that serious, she would have been sitting down and nothing would have been going on. But she was just really trying, because these Karens out here be really going too far just to see how far they can go.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, please don't let Karen come up. Please, Jesus, Okay. Grace, you all quiet. Let's hear you.
What's
my perspective? My perspective is, number one, why are you in a man's face? You can't fight a man. I can't fight a man. If anything, I'm walking away and I'm going to tell my husband when I get home, this dude at the game, blase, blase, blah, but I'm all right. It wasn't that serious.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for her to have the balls to stand up to a man, and then, did you hear him say, "Don't touch me"?
Yeah.
Then she proceeds to slap him. And I'm like, he just told you nicely, don't touch me.
Consider
but
yourself warned.
I was going to say that was a warning.
That was a warning, like, don't touch me, because you don't know this temperament up in his head. So she proceeded to not only touch him, but to slap him. That's the number thing. A lot of white women out here, and I hate to be so blunt, but this is just who I am. A lot of white women out there play the victim when they've done something wrong. Not one time did I see this woman play the victim. She knew that in the end, I'm going to be the innocent one. They're going to kick you out and I'm going to be safe, because what did that guard do? Get out.
Right.
Looking at him and said, get out.
It's automatic.
Not even hearing, right.
The presumption of
along with some of the,
we don't care what she did. You were wrong, black man.
And and I hate to say this out loud, but it's so true. Our color, this brown skin, shows the perception from white people that we are guilty without any explanation, any cause. If you were there, you were part of it. And that irritates the fire out of me, and then it worries me for my child. And I always tell them, if you're in an environment that is going south, walk away. Don't even try and stay and get your phone out, because you're going to get caught up in it. Now, after she slapped him, he snaps, I was like, at that point, I was like, hit her. Because she should have never put her hands in even a slap, no matter what the conversation might have been, there was no reason for her to slap him and put your hands on a man, because therefore I can't handle what that man is going to give me. Wade, I would never stand toe to toe with you, because I don't know your temperament, number one. Number two, you can knock me smooth out, but you better kill me, because I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to get you. No, I'm just playing. I
don't want y'all hitting me. I tell people all the time, I don't want to fight. I don't want to get hit.
Yeah, we can talk. We can talk as two adults.
I don't want to fight.
We can talk as two adults and come to a conclusion. And I feel like that the situation at this game was so unnecessary. She should have he asked her, do not touch me. She did it. So your action caused a reaction that you weren't ready for. And I don't know what happened at the end of that.
Your boyfriend to get knocked out.
Yeah, and then your boyfriend got knocked out. And then what got me too is you're going to throw your body in between these two men that are brawling.
yeah.
At that point, if your man stood up, you should have just stayed back and watched, because you caused this
You done
issue.
caused it now, yeah.
There's no way. And she still threw her body in between. And he should have tagged her again. Oh, you gonna get up in the middle of this? I'm gonna tag you again. Because you started this. Her mama should whoop her when she get home.
I think like
But
for all women, you guys listen to women, don't start it. Don't start nothing.
don't do
'cause
it.
Yeah, just I don't know. I don't know what to say to y'all. Even the white women out here that's out here doing stuff that's like that. Y'all, come on. Really, is it even
Don't.
worth it? Is it because of the power that you want? Listen, you've had it for all these years. You don't have it anymore.
They
So
never
that's why
had it.
you're out here doing what you're doing, because you don't have it anymore.
Look,
and
I
it's
have
like
a-
different ones. So
I have an
go ahead,
issue
go
with what you just said. They never had the power. And that was the
Well,
problem. We were
you
African
can say
American
that.
people are such a powerful nation and such a power. They had intimidation. They didn't have power. They had intimidation to where they intimidated the African American people as if they did have the power. Black people in itself we are more powerful than anybody in this country, but the intimidation factor is what get African American people. But now we're coming to a time to where Black people are standing up and we're saying, you don't run nothing no more. You made a mistake. You freed us from slavery. You made that mistake in your mind. So now I'm free. I can do whatever I want to do. I can be as rich as I want to be. I can be as poor as I want to be. If we learn to take the intimidation factor from the Caucasian people, the white people, they don't have anything else. Why do you think Congress is going crazy? Because Black people actually came together and got rid of a beast that was destroying our nation bit by bit. We are more powerful than we could ever imagine. But we have to come to the conclusion that you don't intimidate me. I'm not scared of you. I'm not worried about you. Because
really,
guess what?
And it's really funny too, because I'm sorry, go ahead, G-Wade.
Well, no, I just said that you were saying powerful, the Black people are more powerful and so on and so forth. This quote came to mind. It was written by English author Edward Bulwer. I'm not even gonna try to mess up his name. Bulwer Lytton, something like that, back in 1839. And y'all probably heard the saying, the pen is mightier than the sword. And which essentially saying is, if we get this thing written into a law, if we get this thing written down to where it's now law and official, no matter what happens over here, once we say this is so, it is so. So that's why no matter how much power we have and can exude and can exert and move as a unit, they're going to always default to the law, what's written, which is why you can stand in court and be like, yeah, Your Honor, yeah, I did have, an ounce of weed, 25 years.
Right, yeah.
Versus a slap on the wrist and get to go home, because they can, the law is written in a way to where it works against us. You know what I mean? People say,
but hold on. I want to, can I interject?
But it's not broken.
Can I interject right there? We did it lawfully. We got up, we voted. It's written in the pen. So we changed the outcome.
Right.
So if we can continue to change things lawfully, they can't do anything about it. Karen can't stand up. Karen, as you can say, our president was a Karen. He stood up and said, go find votes. Go find this.
Right.
There's no way, but the political parties had already said they're being counted. It's nothing we can do. This is the law. This is what America stands for, is the freedom to vote. And so guess what they attack? People's freedom to vote. They're trying to get that revoked. You can't vote from your house. You can't do, they're trying to say, you can't do all of this.
Right.
Because we went by what the pen said. If we get out and vote, if we just use our rights and everything that has been given to us, we can be so powerful. Even with the little rights that everybody share equally, we can be so powerful. We can be greater than any nation, African American people. And that just proves it. This election, we got tired of you. You divided our country. You're doing whatever you want to do. And
Right.
we proved it. And we proved it.
One and done.
That's
Yeah.
it.
I was actually watching a Facebook Live too, where a gentleman was recording. Actually started recording. He was in a Walgreens. So there was another grocery store like right beside Walgreens. So somebody kicked him out of the grocery store that was right next door to Walgreens. So he went into Walgreens to actually pick to shop for like bad stuff because he was like traveling or something. So the manager of Walgreens kicked him out of Walgreens. So the answer, the statement that she gave him was, "You are a suspicious what am I trying to say?
Shoplifter.
Shoplifter. Thank you." So he was like, "What? I got a cart with my stuff in it. What do I look like I'm stealing for?" And the cops came, kicked him out of Walgreens. He was like, "Okay." Then he started recording everything. So why am I being kicked out? Who do I need to talk to? If he didn't bring out that phone, it would have been really escalated to something else different. So he went over to the grocery store, asked the manager that was in charge. She was like, he said, "Did you kick me out because I was stealing?" She was like, "Who are you?" "No, I didn't." So she said, "Are you recording me? I don't want to be recorded." So he dropped the camera, the phone, and she said, "No, but we can go outside and talk." He had a red cap in his pocket. The person that stole was long, straight hair, a white guy with a red shirt on with some plaid pants, and he had a red hat on and some jeans. And it was really terrible. And he still couldn't even go back into Walgreens to shop. Cops made him leave.
Yeah,
All because the word red.
yeah, but I'm never going to force you to take my money, so I don't care. It don't make me no different. I'm going to spend here. No, don't make me no
But
different.
they still have put him through the embarrassment.
No, I
already.
understand that part. That's the part that's the jacked up part, of course. But I'm just saying in terms of so why you listen. If you don't want me here, I'm good.
Then they say, "Oh, you fit the profile," and he didn't even fit the profile.
That's the best defense or the best. I'm sure they teach that in training. You just tell them they fit the profile, and that'll be a justifiable reason to be able to stop and accost someone for doing nothing. No different than it's you saying I feared for my life is a get out of jail free card when a cop shoots an unarmed black man. I fear for my life. Well, what did he pull out? You know what I'm saying? His hands in the air. Well, what did you fear?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Say you wanted to shoot him. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. I just feel like, and the girl didn't even try to apologize until he said, "Oh, so you just gonna walk away and not apologize?" There is never, "I'm sorry, I got you mistaken for somebody else," or "This person told me somebody else was next door was stealing, so I saw you with a red cap in your pocket." Like
similar to that was even with the woman accusing a black guy for stealing her son's phone.
Right. Yes.
And the son ended up finding the phone
in the car in the seat.
And he was like, "Oh, you're not going to apologize?" And she still was saying foul stuff to him. Like,
but now she's facing charges.
Yeah, but you're embarrassed and you can't even just own up to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is dumb stuff. So
I just feel like nobody wants to like admit that they're wrong when they're wrong and they know that they're wrong. Like
easy to admit it right off the top, and you ain't got to sit there and try to double down. You know what I'm saying? My bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My mother said years ago, just kind of going back to the original, I'm not saying that it's right to hit a woman, but I understand.
When you have to defend yourself,
right,
you have to defend yourself.
I'm
not going to say let nobody.
Women out here that's just as big as men. No,
right.
I'm not going to touch them with them big hands because I didn't see it personally.
You sit there trying to fight off somebody. Like at some point, you got to listen. I mean, my goal is not to hit no woman, not never. You know what I'm saying? But
oh gosh, that's so
have I ever done it before? Yes. You know, but no, that's not even a mentality in these days.
Yeah, but that's not who you are. You know, like in your core, you was just forced to protect yourself.
No, I was young and dumb. No. I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Young and dumb.
Okay.
I grew up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Oh, well, let me clear that up. hold on now. I don't want to make it seem like I was some abuser.
Yeah, clear it up.
No. But I ain't
Yes, you were. Stop lying.
Clear it up, G-Wade.
Nah, ain't gonna try to pull up no what they say receipts on me.
What?
I just told you.
Let me go search right now.
You can search it. Nothing ever
That's
like
probably
that.
somebody gonna say, let me go search right now.
Not never.
No, I was just like, man, what could have happened? You know, what was it? You know, in my mind, I went, was it that serious?
It's okay.
You know,
You're definitely not the.
but I don't want to know. I don't know. No, that's your business.
I
That's
guess
your
Grace,
business.
have you put hands on anybody, Grace? Your spouse or?
Yes, and I hate to say that I have, and
well, don't say somebody. You got to say a guy because we're talking about men to women.
I
Women.
said spouse.
yes, I have. I've pushed. I'm like, oh, you made me so sick.
You haven't slapped?
Yeah. No. Why would you? Or what would I? I said, why would you? But why would I?
Yeah, I've gotten
Shoot.
the light slapped out.
I
of me.
might have been like,
The warning.
you better back it down. You better back it down. No, I was just playing.
You've been slapped. You've been slapped, G.
Mm-hmm. I know once for sure. Man, it caught me good too.
But in those instances, did you think that it was like, was that even necessary? Was that even like?
I think it was necessary. Well, no, it was not necessary.
He said, I think it was necessary.
I was lying about something.
Oh, and she caught you.
Yeah, bold-faced lie.
And then,
Caught me
Listen,
real
I'm not
good.
going to sit here and act like I'm the perfect person. I have slapped somebody. I'm not playing. It was serious.
I think, have I really just laid it to somebody? You know, I'm just like, Grace, think. Have you? No, not even in school. I wanted to in school. This girl accused my dad of actually doing something to her, and he was gonna get fired. And I saw her at the end of the hall. You know that look? There you go, right there. I saw her. I was hewn in, and I saw myself just going and just just knocking her out because she was a Karen. She was a Karen. Karen of my day. I promise you. But I wish I would have did something. Y'all got me shaking over. See my arm. I'm ready for it. Now I'm just playing.
That's funny.
Listen, right here on
when is the right time?
Podcast, which is
Never.
Kristen Whitaker.
But did we conclude though?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But
When
you
is
didn't
the
tell
right
them the
time?
answer.
The right time. The right time is when somebody puts their hands on you. When they haven't put their hands on you, don't do anything. Just walk away. That's the right thing to do, I believe. Just walk away. Let Karen do what she's gonna do, even though, listen.
Well,
let's
not just keep it on Karen's. This is a woman, period. You know.
Yeah, anybody.
Anybody.
Yeah,
Anybody. It's not just a woman.
Anybody. Walk away. Keep your hands to yourself. I've definitely learned to just walk away.
So to me, nothing's never really worth it. I don't care enough. So it doesn't matter what it is. Like I don't care enough. If you are grown enough to go do whatever it is that's making me get to a point where I want to hit you, then I'll fight you or whatever the case is.
Right. Yeah.
Enough. You can go. You are free to leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you say, G, you're 40.
You're 40.
You're 40, like for real.
Grown.
It's unnecessary. You're grown at your big girl draws on, big boy underwear on. Listen, I'm out for that craziness. I'm out. Grace, you got anything to say?
No, I just don't think that I don't think that no situation in my mind tells me to put my hands on you. You know what I mean? As fired up as I might get, or because there's consequences after that action, number one. And you don't know what that consequence might be. So therefore, you know, I'm good with my words. I can say some wordy words that will fire up the demon himself. And he already hot, you know. So I'm good with my words, and that's something that I've learned to control too. Grace, watch what you say, because you never know who you're speaking to or what they're going to do. So I've learned control over my words. And then number two, don't put your hands on nobody, because you just don't know how people have put their hands on people and actually killed them.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's
It's a
even,
life-changing.
going past putting your hands on them.
Yeah.
You need to watch what you say too, like you said, the words, because a lot of times when you say words, it's definitely like, okay, so you don't say that.
Because it's not really the words, it's the
Wade
tone
says
that you put them in.
whatever
Mm-hmm.
in DC, meaning you ready to fight. So I'm not going to be fighting because I say whatever.
Because we've been married before. And the tone, it's not necessarily the words, it's the tone in which
right.
you say it in that make that brow go up like that. I'd be like, what the heck?
So
Wait
we
a
all
minute.
have learned to keep your mouth shut and keep your hands to yourself. Right here.
Not necessarily keep your mouth shut, but just, I think you can have a intelligent adult conversation about something.
But when somebody's heated, they're not trying to have no decent conversation.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
They ain't trying to talk. They ain't trying to listen to what your quiet voice say. No.
Because you'd be like, okay, calm down. It's it's not that serious. Nose bleeding, everything. It's not that serious. No, you can't.
That's dumb. You better fight back then.
Right.
But anyways, right here on the Morning Jam podcast with your sister and friend Crystal Whitaker with the special guest, can talk, Grace Melton and G Wade of the WadeWorksStudios in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you, G Wade, for joining us. You guys, I appreciate you. Keep your hands to yourself.
Peace.
If you enjoyed this podcast, tune in each week on thinkingoutloudnetwork.com. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share with your friends and family. Until next time, peace.